The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR Show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to go near the theme of interviews, and we have a very interesting guest with us today. We have the former youth coach and assistant coach of Anderlecht, and also the former assistant coach of Legia Warsaw. We have Mr. Geert Emmerechts with us today. So without wasting much time, I would like to first thank Geert for coming on the show. Thank you so much. And welcome to the show, and I would like to begin by asking how are you and what are you doing during this pandemic period?
Yeah, we are waiting to start again, like everywhere. COVID-19 is everywhere. Now in Belgium, it's getting out of the lockdown. So it's, we are in phase 2 now, and there are 3 phases. So the last phase is in 8 June. So hopefully then the restaurants and school is starting up. So we cannot do much.
So what are you doing these days? Are you reading book or scouting players?
No, for the moment I'm preparing for next season. I signed by a club in 3rd division in Belgium. So the training, they will start in the 13th of July. Hopefully they say we cannot play friendly games in July, but from August we can start playing games, and hopefully we can start the league in the last weekend of August, but it's not sure.
You know, you have worked in so many countries. Like you have worked in Belgium, of course. You are working right now. You have worked in Poland with Legia Warsaw. You have worked in UAE also. How are the footballing cultures different in these countries?
Yeah, Belgium is a football country. So football and cycling is the main sports in Belgium. In Poland, the crowd was fantastic. If you have the chance to follow a game of Legia Warsaw, it's incredible. It's I've never seen that before. And UAE is different. UAE is not many spectators. Football is not the main sports there. So it's completely different.
So, you have in Belgium with Anderlecht, you have worked and developed quite a good amount of players. Like, to name a few, Adnan Zanizai. Then you have Lukaku brothers, Romelu and Jordan. Then you have Dennis Praet, Leander Dondecker, to name a few. You know, how do you develop these talents? You know, like, you have so much in your CV. Like, how are you molding them up to be a good players?
Yeah, the main thing is working. The main thing is work, and that's they have to do the job, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of individual working. So in Anderlecht they have a real good players development. How they work. In Belgium there are 2 languages, 3, but the most languages are Flemish and French. So the guys they are sitting in the school during the day. They have 8 hours of lesson, and the 4th hour they are in school 3 times a week. They get individual training. So every time around 11:30 till 12:30, 1 hour, they are working with one coach for 4, 5, 6 players. So they develop faster. So their technique mostly during those sessions is a lot of technique. Right foot, left foot, controls, passing, those things. And so they develop a lot of faster than other clubs. They cannot train during the day. So and the lesson they skip, the fourth lesson of the day, they get in the later in the afternoon. So they work with teachers, also mostly individual, what they have, what they need. And so they have training 4 times a week at 6 till 7:30, but then it's training with the group.
So, like, how do you scout young players, like for a club like Anderlecht, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest clubs in Belgium? How do you scout young talents, who are good? How do you see, what do you see in them?
One scout, he was working for Ajax. I had them when I was a player. I had him as a coach, and he became a scout first for a smaller club in Belgium, then for Ajax, and then he went from Ajax to Anderlecht. And I talked with him, and he said the most important skill of the players is their control. When they have a good control, and control means not controlling the ball when you are standing still, but control the ball in the speed. That's the first thing. If you see that is good, then the rest, is, I say, not important, but less important than the control. If you see that by a player, you say, then you be 100% sure he has the skills, the other skills. But then you need endurance, physical strength. But scouting here is, we worked in Anderlecht and we played games. And when you see a good player in the other team, we wrote them down. And then they follow the player up 4, 5, 6 times, watching him playing games, and so we get the players. But it's easier when you are the big team, like Anderlecht is in Belgium. It's easier to get the best players, the best Belgian players.
So, like, you have worked with a lot of wonderful young talents, but I'll put you in a difficult position here. If you had to choose one person, one talent, who would that be? Like, the best talent you have worked with?
That's that's a difficult question. Then I will say Romelu Lukaku. And why? He had the focus already when he was 13, 14, because I was first in Lierse, that's also a small club in Belgium. And he came there from a low level in football to when he was under 13. And he played already, he was tall. They never believed in youth that he was only 13 or 12 or 14 or 16, because when he went to Anderlecht, he was 14, I think, and he played with under 16. And then he came with me in under 19 for 6 months, and they took him in the second team already. So when he was 17 or 18, he played with first team, but he was focused. Nothing was too much for him. He said, we're gonna do this, okay, but he was curious, why we do this, why did, and that he had the focus to do everything at 100%. Maybe he was not technically the best player, but he had something. Scoring goals easy, he has the strength, he has the speed, being so tall and heavy, but he was he was not the completest player, but I like players who have a goal in their life. And he said, I want to become a first player of Anderlecht. Then he said, I want to go to the abroad. Then I want to make it there. You see that he has the drive, and that's really important for a young player.
Since you have been involved in youth a lot, and suppose a club in Nepal, they're not very good in producing good youth talent. What advice would you give them? How to produce, improve the youth?
Yeah. Try to work in smaller groups. And I mean, if you work with, if you have a team or a squad from 20 players, for example, try to work 2 times a week in smaller groups with 2 or 3 or 4 coaches, and improve their skills. When you work with the ball, they will improve. If you work only 1 hour or 3 hours a week, then they will not improve. Work pace, and then you need guys who has the right mentality to have goals in their lives, who have the drive that I say, and then you will improve them. But everything comes with work. How more you work, the better you get, and that's how I see. And most of the good schools, education in Belgium, how it's like everything. The more you work individually, the better you get.
So, if you had to describe yourself as a coach, what would be your football philosophy?
My philosophy, I like modern football, and modern football is try to get the hand in the game, try to be dominant, attacking. That's one of my goals. But the most thing is to prepare a team who is ready to play the game. And in youth, it doesn't depend from the opponent. You have to try to play your game, and that's what I tried always in Belgium. But I worked with the best players in Belgium because I worked in Anderlecht. I was trainer 14, 16, 19, 21, second team, and in every with every team I had, I became champion because you had the best players, and then it's easier. But still, you need to find some goals for the team to improve, because you're working not for a team, but you are working for an individual player who has to come or who has to reach the first team, and that's the main goal for a youth coach.
So, what is your favorite formation? If you had to say one formation, I would want to play that. What is your favorite formation?
4-3-3.
Why?
Why? Yeah, it's a formation where I grew up, and why I can put a lot of changes during the game. For me, it's a system who can play most of the attacking without too much risk behind. In every position, try to give them the right way, how to play, what they can do, what they cannot do. And for me, I like to play with the two sides, offensive. And if you have there the skills like speed and dribble, action, then you can do a lot of things with the 4-3-3. But I know coaches, like in Belgium, there was a coach who played with not the best team, but he became champion with 3-4-3. So, yeah, you see, every system has its pros, but you need the players. Which players you have, certainly when you have a first team, what players you have, and then you can say this system will work in the preparation. You can try, but for me, 4-3-3 is my system.
So like, do you look up to coaches from whom you take inspiration in world football?
Every coach, you can learn every day from every coach, but I like the way Jurgen Klopp is making his team like a machine. He did that in Germany, now he does that in England. So for me, these are the coaches. Yeah, you see immediately the hand of the coach. You see Guardiola has the same. He played the same football in Bayern, in Barcelona, and I played the same system in City. He has, excuse me. He has results. That counts for a coach.
Okay, like if you had to give any young coach advice, what advice would you give them?
Try to stay yourself. Try to learn from everything, because now these days, it doesn't turn everything around the ball. Yeah, you need a lot of more skills to become a good coach. You need good scouting. You need to have the media to learn to you have to be a people manager now, because it's not the same anymore as 20 or 30 years ago with young players. So they become more stronger verbally, they have their own opinion. They try to come out for this opinion. So you need to have more skills than only. So it's everyday learning. Try to read what this coach say, what this coach say, looking on YouTube, working new exercises. What can we improve? So don't live in the past. Think about today and tomorrow. What can happen during the game also. If everything goes good, then it's become dangerous,
So on that note, Gert, I'll ask you one final question. It's a very controversial question. Whom do you like, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Lionel Messi.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. If you say which athlete do you prefer, then I say Ronaldo, because he is really an athlete. If you see him, but Messi has something, I'm Barcelona fan also. So, but it's not only because he's playing in Barcelona, but what he does is both players are extremely talented, but different. And I like the way Messi is playing, but it's not a modern footballer, because defending way, but he makes the difference. And That's a player who, if you want to go see a game, then I choose Barcelona because Messi is playing there. Yeah, it's for me, it's Messi, the greatest of all now.
So on that note, Geert, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you all the best for your upcoming campaign with your new team, and I wish you qualify them for the higher divisions, and we can talk again soon. Best of luck for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you very much.